Yeah, they don't give a fuck about you. When you're still in the growing stages, be modest, be humble, be patient. You're just going through growing pain, kid. But after it's built, they come around and say, I'm glad you're no longer deranged. I'm glad you made it out of depression and that self-shame. Yeah, so I say, you come back at the end of the book, skip the original me. Now that I see with the Iron Horus, you want a piece of me. When I was frightened, beaten, battered, broke down, toothless, you said I was a nuisance. Back when you had experience and I was new to this, you left me equivalent to what Lucifer did to God. Who you think you is? Itachi, self-sacrifice, kamikaze. Doesn't compare to self-growth, assassination for the creed of the self. I was drowning in mental health. You called me a psychopath, huh? So listen. You narcissist with a sociology degree. I was fighting shadows in my dreams. Carl Jung, you see, animus, balance is key. You part of the bourgeoisie, or maybe you missed the marks, but you know what I mean. I was feeling enemy the way you treated me. Now I'm folded in 8 states, trust versus mistrust, discipline with distance, and that's where I found for steps. Not in books, not in grades, but in the quiet ache between mistakes. Not in books, not in grades, but in the quiet ache between mistakes. Not in books, not in grades, but in the quiet ache between mistakes. Not in books, not in grades, but in the quiet ache between mistakes. I like to be by when, but circumstances had me violent, so I disappeared like Violet. Went and meditated in silence, closed my eyes, God on the right, devil on the left eyelid. Duality in my body, I'm a spiritual island. Do I turn monk or tyrant? Buddha happy, Buddha crying. So I separated from ignorant ways, chasing nirvana, that's what I thought. But sin is the seed of thought. Universe, God, where do I walk? That's when he spoke. Why exist just physically? Even physicists would disagree. Some truths ain't literal, they come as imagery. Your primordial memories older than their history. And innocence ain't ignorance, it's divinity. They barter and trade green, a leaf for a leaf. Put it back in the garden, that's how you grow the seed. Humans imitate nature, turn a tree into paper. What the tree gives freely, they tax it now and later. Greed eats the garden, they forget to see the seed. Not in books, not in grades, but in the quiet ache between mistakes. Not in books, not in grades, but in the quiet ache between mistakes. Not in books, not in grades, but in the quiet ache between mistakes. States of the universe correcting your flesh.